Join me right now, back on the show, Kumite Radio, Mark Striegl, URCC Featherweight champ. What's going on, Mark?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me, man. Doing good. Just got up, did some meal prep here in Baguio. Gonna do a workout after this interview.
All right, man. You've been through a lot in the last month, but the thing that I want to talk about most is you judging the Miss World Philippines. How did you end up getting that gig, man? That's like a man's dream right there.
No, that was a crazy experience actually. My manager, Arnold Vega Fria, a few days after the fight, he just told me, he's like, "Yep, get a suit, and you're gonna judge the Miss World pageant." And I was like, "What?" Like, I've been in training camp for the last 2 months. I don't even have a suit. I got workout gear only. I got my Under Armour compression stuff. That's about it. So rushed a suit, got a suit, and it was a crazy experience, man. Judging the Miss World pageant. The last time I fought at Mall of Asia Arena, of course, was when I used to fight for one championship. So being there for a beauty pageant and seeing the amount of people there, it was a trip. And beauty pageants are so big in the Philippines, so it was a cool experience for sure.
Yeah, man, it could be a future occupation for you to just go around and judge beauty pageants, right?
But no, it was fun.
Of course. Now, turning to the fight, URCC Colassal, there was a lot of hype, there was a lot of trash talking, there was a lot of stuff going on before, during, and after that fight. We're going to get into all of that. Let's start with the pre-fight press conference. Lee comes out accusing you of using steroids. Where do you think that came from?
Honestly, I really don't know. The funny thing is, I've been accused of steroids since I was in middle school. That's true, man. Like, you can look at pictures of me 16 years old when I was wrestling, and I was already built. Like, thank God I've been blessed with really good genetics. But yeah, I've been accused of steroids since middle school, and I guess all the content I'm pushing out in my workout videos and how hard I train before the fight, I'm guessing maybe got a little intimidated, and it's just an easy excuse. It's probably trying to get me rattled, trying to get me rattled and try to throw me off my game, because we've been trash talking since December, So I think just mind games and just trying to mess with me.
Is it true that when he said, let's take steroids test, you said to let's take AIDS test?
Yeah, I was just trolling him, man. I'm like, if you're going to troll me, like, all right, then let's do an HIV test for you, because I've heard, things on the street, and he's just like, so. No, I was just messing, man.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good comeback, to be honest.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I've heard stuff about you too, so let's do that. I saw his face go white, he's like, oh.
All right, also, there was some little controversy during the weigh-ins. His coach wanted to see actually how much you weighed. He didn't trust the GAB.
This Lee's coach is very, to be honest, is very difficult to work with, as an opposing team. With Denise, who's also a fighter from our team, and he was cornering the Korean girl that she fought. This coach asked for Denise to step on the scale like 5 times. And this is before the weigh-in. So Denise is on weight. We know she's on weight. We're professional, man. We just want to go there. We're tired. We're malnourished. It's weigh-ins. We feel like crap. We just want to get the weigh-ins over and done with. And this coach is asking Denise to get on the scale like 5 times. Because, I don't know, he doesn't believe the numbers. Also, the scale is an analog scale. So it's the kind that flickers like this. So it's not digital. So the thing with an analog scale is, if you have to weigh 145, it's always going to, you can't stand perfectly still, right? So it's always going to flicker between 144, 145, 146. So the only way it's going to be completely under is if you're, 2 pounds underweight, or 1 or 2 pounds underweight. So it only goes up to 145, right? Not 146. If you're on weight, it's going to flicker past 145. So, with Denise, he was so difficult. With myself, he was difficult, even though Gab already green-lighted me. And we're like, yep, you're on weight. He was still, you can even see in the video that I posted, he's still looking, just creeping over my shoulder. Just really, really weird and unprofessional, to be honest. You know. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the actual fight. It was a flawless victory. You know, you went in there, you dominated, complete domination, got the belt wrapped around your waist. Do you believe that that was the most dominant performance of your career?
I'd say one of them. I had a really strong performance against Harris Sarmiento. Also at Arnetta. I have a good track record at Arnetta Coliseum. But yeah, definitely one of my most dominant performances.
Immediately after the fight was over, one of your coaches and his head coach had an altercation inside the cage. What exactly happened there?
Okay, well, I'm not sure, to be honest, because I was, adrenaline pumping, super stoked, finally got my first title. So, I mean, as you can imagine, though, there's so many emotions involved and coming into play. I mean, since December, this is almost a year of build up and trash talk, and I beat his teammate, and we just been going back and forth. So for sure, emotions were high, and they didn't expect it to be as one-sided as that, I guess. And yeah, when I looked across, I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's almost a brawl here. So that was actually the reason why I left the arena and missed the GAB test, because security escorted us out. Security escorted us out, and we're like, yo, you got to get out of here. There might be a brawl. So I was like, okay. And honest to God, I completely forgot about the GAB test. So I got escorted out, left the arena, and then soon after, GAB contacted me, and they're like, yo, you got to come in and do the mandatory drug test, which I did. Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to take the test afterwards. You said that you were escorted out of the arena. Then they wanted you to come in on Monday.
Yes.
And is it true that you didn't show up on that day?
There's some miscommunication here. I actually wasn't contacted until Monday. I know Lee's camp was saying that I was being contacted on Saturday and Sunday, but I wasn't contacted until Monday. So as soon as I got in touch with Gab on Monday, well, Sundays, it's an off day. Sundays, it's a non-working day. So I was contacted on Monday by Gab through URCC, and they're like, yo, you got to come in immediately. And I'm like, okay. So I came in on Tuesday, and that's when also the Korean team was at Gab, took my test, and that was it.
After the fight, you posted a picture on Instagram showing that you were taking an IV drip. Now, a lot of people, or actually his team, was speculating that you were flushing your system or something was going on there.
Right.
Tell us what was going on.
Okay. Well, first off, I mean, just to make clear for people watching, the test that I missed, the post-fight mandatory test, was not even a steroid test. This was a marijuana and HIV test. I forgot about this test. I was escorted out the arena. Things were super heated. I was contacted by Gab soon after, and I went in, took the test, passed the test. Now, after I passed the test, the same time, Do-Gyeom Lee and his team are immediately pointing their fingers at me and screaming, he's on steroids, da-da-da-da, without even knowing what the test was for that I missed. So they're automatically just dragging my name through the mud, totally tainting my win. And real talk, it's just because they lost and they got their ass kicked, Like, how professional is that? You don't even know what the test is for, and you're already making accusations, and you're pointing your finger and screaming, steroids, steroids. It's a lot easier to just point your finger and scream steroids and use that as an excuse as to why you got handled in 2 minutes of the very first round. And, and the funny thing is, I hear now that at the time he didn't know what the test was for. But a few days ago, someone sent me a link, and he just posted that he now knows that it was for marijuana and HIV. And he still wants me to get stripped. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, dude, I complied with all of Gab's requests. I went into the office immediately after. I was suspended. I am suspended for 6 months because I missed the immediate post-fight drug test. But I gave Gab my reason as to why I missed the immediate post-fight drug test. I said that I was escorted by security after the fight because there was threat of a brawl inside the cage, and that would look horrible on live TV. they said okay, and they're like, yeah, but you did screw up because you missed the test right after, and I apologized. And they were like, but based on your reasoning, okay, 6 month suspension. But now Do-Gyeom Lee he's crying and saying, oh, he still needs to be stripped. Real talk, this is just a sore loser. This is just a guy that cannot accept defeat. You know, as a fighter, we've all lost before. I've had horrible losses, you know, that have haunted me. But, you know, real fighters know. You don't react like this. You put your head down, you get back to the grindstone, you work hard, and you get your chance of redemption, and you get a few more fights, and you get a rematch with the guy that beat you. You don't go crying and making excuses the next day and pointing your fingers when you don't even know all the facts. It really just shows you the kind of character and the kind of person that he is. He's not a real fighter, and that's what me and my camp knew going into this fight, you know. So.
Gab.
To your IB question though. Yeah. To your IB question. On Monday, before Gab even contacted me, and before I knew that I even had to go in, I got sick with tonsillitis. It was a long training camp because the fight got pushed twice, I believe. So I got sick. I mean, I ended up doing like a 3-month maximum intensity training camp. You know, I got in some of the best shape of my life, but you can only go hard for so long, right? So I got sick 2 weeks before the fight, 1 or 2 weeks before the fight, and I got tonsillitis. I had white spots in my throat, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just about to go into the weight cut week. If I get sick and have a fever here, this is going to be horrible. It's like, please God. I'm like, okay, I need to get some strong antibiotics just to nip this thing and kill it right away. So yeah, about 2 weeks before the fight, I got antibiotics. And then right before the fight started, I got off the antibiotics so I could have an easier weight cut because antibiotics retain water weight. And then right after the fight on Monday, before I heard anything from Gab that I had to come into the office, I went to the City Club in Makati, and I got an immunity boost IV drip, and I got a new antibiotics prescription. I have the antibiotics prescription if anyone wants to see. Because I was sick. I was sick going into the fight, and after the fight, I was sick. I was coughing like hell backstage before the fight. So, Do-Gyeom Lee, I also beat you while I was sick, you know, and you're making excuses and saying I'm flushing my system. Like, dude, I was sick going into the fight, and I was simply getting more antibiotics after the fight. And why would I be stupid? If I really was doing something fishy, why would I be posting online a picture of me in an IV drip chair and post immunity boost, you know? Like, it's just ridiculous, you know? Like, who would do that, you know? Yeah.
Gab, the games and amusement board, you know, I read something about your 6-month suspension, and then also read something that they're enforcing some kind of rematch between you and Do-Gyeom Lee. Is that true?
That's the first time I've heard about that. I think that's just Lee and his camp pushing for a rematch. I heard that they were even asking for a November rematch, which is what, today's the 31st or the 1st, which is like right now. Like, these guys are just, you know, they're just clowns. They're just ridiculous. I mean, I can't really blame them. After you talk that much trash since December, and you say you're going to finish me, you do all these things, and you don't even land a clean shot, and you get choked out in 2 minutes. Like, I can't blame the guy for. No, I do blame the guy, but you know, I can understand why he's so butthurt and pushing for a rematch immediately and making excuses. It's crazy. But yeah, that's the first time I've heard about the immediate rematch. I don't think so. I mean, God knows he doesn't deserve it after, you know, a one-sided fight like that. You know.
Lee and his team, they've been very, very active, man, on social media, attacking your character and continuing to ruin your reputation as a fighter. Because this is, even though this is not true, it can ruin, you know, in many people's eyes, your reputation. You know, like, people might look at you and say, hey, maybe he is on steroids or whatever. Yeah. You know, it has been almost a month now. How are you handling all these accusations?
I mean, honestly, yeah, in one ear, out the other. This is really the craziest team that I've ever dealt with. Tell you guys some more stories in a second about these guys and just how whiny and unprofessional they are. But Yeah, for me, it really did suck because I worked so hard for this fight. 3 months. It's the hardest I've ever trained in my life. Actually, me and Coach Castro, we put in a full 3 month training camp when I was already in shape to start the camp too. And then to have all these crazy accusations right after, which are not based on any fact whatsoever. It's just wild accusations because they're being sore losers. Yeah, it kind of tainted the victory a little bit, and it did suck, to be honest. But yeah, that's the fight game, man. People are gonna talk. This is a crazy sport, and all I can say is for those that still doubt me, look at pictures of me from when I was 16. Look at pictures of me when I was wrestling in middle school. When I was in middle school, I could already 13, 14, I could already do 100 push-ups and I could do 20 pull-ups, like all the way down, all the way up, no kipping, I'm blessed with good genetics, and I work very hard. And my 16-year-old body was more fit and developed than Do-Gyeom Lee's current body is today, So I mean, yeah, it is what it is, yeah. But yeah, it definitely sucked.
You mentioned some of the pettiness by his team. Could you go into that?
Yeah, after I mean, while they were making all these accusations immediately after the fight, they were just trying to bring up all this stuff and making up lies basically that didn't happen. Do-Gyeom Lee and his coach posted that in Cebu, when I fought his teammate, that's when everything started. Last December in Cebu, they posted online that I had used my own scale in Cebu and that I had cheated. Now, I did use my own scale in Cebu, and there was a very good reason why. Now, I flew in from Manila the day of the weigh-ins. Do-Gyeom Lee and his team were already there at the weigh-ins. They were waiting for me because our flight with me and a bunch of the other URCC fighters got delayed at the airport for 3 hours. So I was already on weight. And I was in Manila completely dehydrated. Hey, Violet, sorry, interview. So I was completely dehydrated in Cebu, like already on weight, feeling like crap, right? And I get touchdown in Cebu, literally the weigh-ins are at the same. The weigh-ins are at the same venue as the hotel. So I get off the plane, cross from the airport to the hotel. It's right next to the airport. It's called Waterfront Hotel and Casino. Cross from the airport to the hotel. Put my suitcases at the front desk. Don't even have time to check in, and go walk straight to the weigh-ins. Okay. Now I get to the weigh-ins, and everyone's waiting for me and the other fighters that are also whose flights were delayed. They were on the same flight as me. So we're at the weigh-ins. I step on the scale immediately, like we talked about earlier. It's that stupid analog scale, right? So it's flickering. So if I need to weigh 145 again, it's gonna flicker depending on how you shift your weight. You can't stand perfectly still. It's gonna flicker between 144, 145, 146. So I knew I was on weight because I already checked my weight before I got on the flight at the airport. And I'm a wrestler, man. I carry digital scale with me everywhere. It's like, part of my routine, right? So I checked my weight before I got on the flight. I knew I was on weight. I knew I was under. So I get on the scale, and this analog scale is flickering. Now, his coach creeps up behind me, and Gab already is writing down that I'm on weight. They already unanimously agree that I'm on weight. They're like, yep, it's flickering, but it's clearly 145. He's on weight. Or 146, sorry, because it wasn't a title fight. Clearly 146, he's on weight. This coach goes, no, I want him to go run. He's not on weight. He needs to lose more. And he's making such an issue with Gab. And I'm like, dude, you know how weigh-ins are, right? Your face, you're just like, eyes sunken in. You feel like hell. I was standing at the airport for 3 hours, just got off of a plane ride, and I go straight to the weigh-ins. I feel like hell, right? Weight cuts are always brutal. And this guy's trying to make me go run in the hot Cebu sun for another hour to try to lose another pound when I know I'm on weight and Gab already says that I'm on weight. So I'm desperate, right? I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. You're being a clown. I'm on weight. And Gab already says that I'm on weight, but you're just forcing this issue. So in desperation, I go over to my suitcase. I grab my digital scale. I bring it. I step on it on the stage. And I'm like, look, I'm friggin' 0.2 underweight. Like I said, like, what are you guys doing? And then Michael Park, the translator of their team, looks at him and convinces him that it's okay. And then that's what happened, you know? So, I mean, it's just so petty, man, you know? Like, saying that I cheated. Like, the only reason I had to bring out my own scale was because your coach is such a clown and was forcing me to run outside and lose extra weight when I'm already on weight. And Gab already says that I'm on weight. And now you're twisting the story and saying that I'm cheating? Like, God, it's just, oh, so... It was at this point when I was sharing these stories, though, I was just like laughing. I'm like, oh my God, like what are these guys gonna come up with next? You know, the IV drip thing. That also another crazy thing. We went to the Gab office on Tuesday to meet and explain why I missed the test and to take the test. And his team was there, including the girlfriend of the girlfriend of the coach. Who's part of the corner. So she's there because they had already flown back to Korea. So this is Tuesday after the fight. We're at the Gab office. And we're at the Gab office, and I see me and my coach, Coach Castro, we see the Korean coach's girlfriend, Filipino girlfriend, sitting across the room on the opposite couch like this, taking pictures, right? Like taking pictures of us, like what is this? We're here, like we were called in, so we're here. We have nothing to hide, right? And she's like this, and we know that she's taking pictures because who texts like this, right? Like who texts like this? So Coach Castro, he takes, we must be like a good 15, 20 feet away. He takes like 2 steps forward and brings out his own phone and goes, "See, I can do this too. What are you doing, man? Get a job. Come on, we're here. What are you doing?" That's it. I swear to God, that's it. And then he walks away, and he doesn't even get near her. He's like 15 feet away. Next thing I know, that night, their coach is posting on social media that Coach Castro was lunging at the girlfriend and trying to attack her in Gab. Like, dude, this is a joke, man. It's absolutely absurd. It's ridiculous. I've never dealt with such a sore loser, unprofessional, insecure team in my life. And just the wild accusations before the fight, post-fight, everything. It was like a circus with them. Yeah, just madness. Crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is a crazy ordeal the last 30 days or so.
Yeah.
Now, you got that 6-month suspension, or I don't know. I don't know how you call it a suspension. You know, it's like you took the test.
To be fair, like I did miss the post-fight test. You know, I retook it 3 days later, but you know, that was my bad. Regardless if I got escorted out by security and I completely forgot about it, like that is my bad, and I was the only fighter. So I have to be reprimanded somehow, and you know, it sucks, but whatever. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, but the issue was steroids. It wasn't HIV or marijuana testing, so it is kind of a weird suspension, right?
Well, yeah, but it's more because I just missed it. Like Gab is the governing body for all combat sports in the Philippines and a lot of other sports too. You know, they're the sanctioning governing body, and you know, I messed up by not showing there. So yes, it's not for steroids. It was a marijuana test that I missed, and I retook 3 days later. But it was my bad for missing it in the first place. So you know, it sucks, but yeah, I understand their decision.
Yeah, but I think if you're smoking marijuana and you have HIV, it's not gonna leave your system in 3 days.
No,
right?
No, absolutely, and definitely there's no, you know, IV. I don't even know about this stuff, but like no amount of IV is gonna help with something like that.
Exactly. So
as far as I know, yeah. So yeah, just crazy team looking for excuses and just being sore losers ultimately, and and yeah, just not being able to handle the fact that they went 0-2 that night. Well, I mean, that other girl's not really part of their team, but they cornered her that night. They went 0-2. Denise, my teammate, put a one-sided fight, put a stomping on that other girl, and I did the same with Do-Gyeom Lee. So they went back to Korea, like definitely not in good moods. And as soon as they heard, oh, we missed the test, they're just like, oh my god, here's the reason why. Okay, like, just so they could sleep at night basically and be like, oh yeah, that's why you're still a good fighter. Like, dude, come on, take your loss like a man. Like, I've lost before. It sucks. Losing in anything sucks, but especially losing in fight sport, it sucks. But if you go out like that, just put your head down, work harder. That's it.
So you got about 5 months left. What are you gonna do in that time?
Keep training, man. I mean, yeah, like I didn't take any damage in the fight, so I'm still in great shape, just keep improving my skill set, man. The off season is when you really develop your skills. When you're in fight camp, you just put your body through such a grind, and you just get in crazy fight shape. Now that it's the off season, it's time to develop more skills and just enjoy training and keep training and wait for the next one, man. Wherever that would be.
Are you planning on going anywhere to train, or are you just gonna stay in the Philippines and develop your skills there?
I might go overseas. No plans right now because it's December. December's coming up, so holidays here. Definitely stay in the Philippines for the holidays. But yeah, after that, I might go overseas somewhere. Not sure yet though. Yeah.
Well, there have been rumors, circulating that you are gaining interest by many of the bigger promotions around the world. Is there any truth to that? Could you talk about that?
Yeah, well, we're in talks with some big promotions, but nothing signed right now. Definitely been was contacted after the fight, but haven't signed any dotted lines yet. So yeah.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you and clearing up what has happened in the past month. And it's kind of good that you come out and speak about it instead of just going online and writing stuff online, because I've looked at your online presence and you really haven't addressed anything that has happened and all the accusations that have thrown at you. So it's good to clear the air.
I mean, yeah, thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity you give me the chance to. I mean, the thing is, these guys were so emotional right after the fight. They were just, making crazy accusations left and right, cheating on the weigh-ins in Cebu, IB drip, like, attacking the coach's girlfriend, So, I knew that whatever I said right after the fight, I would, point one finger, you get two pointed back at you, especially with guys acting as immature and irrational as these guys. So I was like, okay, let them do their talking and, I'll clear the air later. Yeah.
All right, Mark. Thanks, man. Enjoy
Thank you, bro.
The title.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Speak soon.